Go ahead.
Rob, me on
Hi,
light.
Xavier. Hi, Shan. How are you? It's Rob Cesternino and Brian Cohen here for RHAP. First off, stunned to see you both out on the challenge. Really, I was watching and I was like, okay, well, by the end of the episode, I could not believe what I had seen. Real quick about the actual challenge. Did it come down to the time penalty, or was the puzzle actually going on for a while?
Shan, go ahead.
Like, we've been asked this question so many times today, but I think it, like, you know, we definitely ate the penalty, and like X had it in him to go at it, and he needed that moment, I think, and I supported him and all of that. But you know, it really was very close. Like we took the penalty, but we caught up so quickly. Like it wasn't like a blowout. You know what I mean? Like we were right there. I think we had maybe one piece in the middle that we needed to shift, and TJ had like blown the horn. So it wasn't like a total blowout, but like, and I think we both feel a little torn on whether we shouldn't have or should have. But at the end of the day, like I was so proud to compete with Xavier and to go into the elimination ring with him. I felt very confident in my partner, and I think had we had like maybe just 3 seconds, we probably would have won, because we were right there. I mean, this is what we do. We do, puzzles, and this is like, I felt like we had it, and trivia. I mean, it was all set up for us, but it is what it is. So X.
Yeah, I would say similarly. I think we've gotten this question quite a bit. So how I would just address it is like, obviously it's a penalty. It's not going to benefit you in any capacity. The logic behind kind of taking the penalty is like, okay, maybe we're able to see pieces of the puzzle as they're laid out on the ground before we even start doing it, to give us time to kind of just be able to piece it together.
Sure.
Which is why, like, as once our penalty was done, we caught up to them within seconds. Like, I didn't know that wasn't portrayed, but that's the truth. Like, we caught them quickly. We just got stuck on a middle piece and could not figure that out. So it's a penalty. It definitely didn't help, but I don't think it hindered us as much as everyone thinks.
Got it. Yeah.
If the penalty hadn't happened, would we have won? I guess it would depend on how long it would have taken us to figure out that middle piece. Because and there's also like, life is, hindsight 2020. If we win, who do you think in that compound wants to see us knowing that we just won while accepting a penalty? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's also something to kind of sending a message. So yeah, I think it definitely, I don't think it helped by any means, but I don't think it was as big of a hindrance as I think it may have been great to be seen.
Yep. So did Kylan and Alyssa's plans ever did you catch wind of it before the elimination, or were you kind of blindsided going in? And if you had caught wind, do you think you could have talked them out of it, by placating to Kylan or Alyssa? Like, is there anything you could have done to stay out of this elimination?
So shortly before the elimination, David had actually kind of tipped me off that my name was being thrown around. He was like, hey, I just want this to stay between you, but like your name's being thrown around. But at that point in time, it was too, like, we were literally about to head to elimination, so I can't even do anything about it. But that kind of let me know, I'm like, okay, Kylan's in power, but Alyssa's in power. Everyone in the compound knows that Alyssa and I are tight. Like, everyone knows, like, that's the homie, I'm her homeboy, like we right there. So no one's gonna go up to them and say my name. They're not that stupid, So if my name's being said, that means Kylan and Alyssa are considering taking a shot at me. But at that point in time, it's like, there's really not much I can do about that. One thing you guys don't know is that, like, usually with the challenges, there's like a day in between. This challenge, the trivia and the elimination were all on the same day. So it was pretty much the equivalent of like a Big Brother double elimination. So yeah, I had just been tipped off, but at that point it was too late to like do anything about it. And so I was just kind of like, either they're going to make the move, which I don't find it being super beneficial for them long term, or they're going to wait, probably take the shot at like Cinco and Shannon, which would have made more sense, and then live to try to take that shot at me another day.
Yeah, that's the part of it where just watching this and trying to see like where was the strategic decision. Like it's very hard to interpret this as anything else than it was only a personal decision. Am I missing something, that there was a strategy here in play where it made sense to?
No.
Go ahead, Shannon.
No, and that's the point. That's the part of this that's so upsetting. I think being a Big Brother player, being a Survivor player on the challenge in the compound, like, we all had this understanding that it's good insurance if we're partnered with each other, because it's like we know we want to see both ends at the end, right? And it's like, Big Brother knew that they needed the numbers. Survivor knew that they needed the numbers. And I think that Kylan and Alyssa, it was very short-sighted. It was like not good strategy. It was not good thinking again, like I can see why they did not win Big Brother, because they weren't, there was no foresight. They were blinded by their revenge and their pettiness to get this big threat out of the game instead of using him as a meat shield. Like, why not just use him as a meat shield going forward as a Big Brother player? Everybody knows I myself did not want Xavier to win. I love him, and I'm so glad I was partnered with him going into elimination. Wouldn't want to be there with anyone else, but we don't want Xavier to win. He just won 750K. Yes, we know he just paid taxes, but you still won 750K. That's a lot of money. Spread the wealth around, well, right? But Xavier, Kylan and Alyssa were just so gung-ho, and DX so gung-ho on, I'll just say Alyssa and DX were so gung-ho on getting Xavier out of the game and having this revenge against the cookout, when it's like, but Kylan's a part of the cookout too. And like it didn't make any sense. So I don't think it was smart gameplay. I think it was way too soon. There's no like hat off there, good job to Justine and David for pulling it out.
Yeah,
we were really close, but it wasn't strategic. It wasn't smart. It wasn't savvy at all.
Also, if it has to do with money, like, does anyone forget that there are 3 people in there who have won more money than I have? There are 3 millionaires in there. Like, I didn't even, I'm a 3/4 of a millionaire. There's 3 bona fide millionaires. Why are y'all looking at me if it's about money? Like, they make more money than me.
Can I ask one more question? That would Alyssa have gone further or not as far if it wasn't for you in Big Brother 23, Xavier?
Say that.
I want to first give her credit. When Tiffany won her second HOH, Alyssa would have gone home if she didn't win that veto. So I will give her credit for that. However, when Christian went home and the game plan for the cookout was to take out SB the following week, that was when I was like, fine, if you guys are taking out Christian and SB because the Kings team was dominating the game, so if you guys are taking out 2 of my former team members, then Alyssa makes it to the end. And everyone agreed to that. So Alyssa was agreed to be, I think it was between Alyssa and Brittany, who were going to be the last 2. But then when Kylan won his second HOH, that was when Brittany got moved up. And then Alyssa was made the last one. And the only reason that was ever not going to be a thing was when Tiffany won her second HOH, because she can't put up Claire, but then Alyssa won. So then she had to put up Claire. So yeah, no, when Alyssa won that veto, that was 100% her helping her get to 7. But her making it to 8 was because I'm like, if you guys are taking out my Kings team, she makes it to the end. And everyone in the cookout agreed to that.
Yeah. Shan, I'm curious from you, because we see a lot of people coming with a lot of physical prowess and they kind of own that as top players. And you coming in as more a strategic player, you tried to like tone that down. We saw a conversation with Derek. Was there any thought of going the opposite way, of trying to just really own yourself as like a top strategic mind and wanting to rally around troops like that? Or were you just trying to deflect the target away from you? What was kind of like your strategy going into this?
I think that like when I had that conversation with Derek, like I was like really trying to build across the show lines a little bit, because I know, I figured it'd get down to Big Brother and Survivor, and at some point we would need to, and I have relationships with a lot of the members from the cookout from Big Brother. I was just like, I wanted to just make more connections there. That's a part of my gameplay. I just did. And I like Derek, he's a fun guy, a little immature sometimes, but for the most part, I really, really dig him. But I think I knew going into the challenge that I had a big target on my back. I knew that, my season had just aired. I had done pretty well. There was the Shantham. I mean, like they could smell me, hear me humming, coming from a mile, freaking away. So it was like, I needed to figure out a different game plan. I knew that Survivor would be like my home. That was the only thing that I had, and busting my ass is in the challenges and making sure that I didn't come last, which I didn't. And I feel like I held my own, but yeah, for the most part, I did try to tone down my strategic part. There's a part of me that really wants to own it and lean all the way into my villain, but it's just like, I felt like there was too much spotlight in that area. And I just tried to play under the radar a bit and, do what I could, but
yeah. I know we're running out of time with both of you, that there's so much more we can get into, but all the best outside of the challenge. X, Shan, so nice to see you. Wish was under better circumstances, and take care, both of you.
Bye.
Bye.